with notorious Bruno of
The Qemists.
The Qemists.
Hi, how you doing, my friend?
I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm a little bit tired. I'm a little bit ropey, but I'm good.
And you're not a ghost?
I'm not a ghost today.
Not a ghost,
no,
but still partially asleep.
That died at download.
So a few months ago, I've spoken to Liam, and before the album was released, so
Yeah.
you had the excitement of, I'm about to release an album and I want you to hear it.
Yes.
And now it feels like it kind of got changed with fatigue.
No, but that's fatigue on a localised sense, as in, to take a snapshot right now, I'm tired. We've been on the road for a few days, and everyone's tired. But all in all, the energy in the camp is excitement.
Yeah, it looks like as soon as the album got released, you just didn't stop doing stuff. It's the
No.
launch show in Brighton, and then you toured
and then
Tikari, and then I heard that as soon as you landed, you started driving to Leeds.
Our last show with Shikari was. Sorry, they're about to start sound checking next door, aren't they? Our last show with Sakari was on in Barcelona, and the next show was a day and a half later with Crossfaith. We're starting the Crossfaith tour, and that was in Leeds. So we drove from Barcelona to Leeds. So it was kind of 8 hours driving, 4 hours in a random hotel in the middle of nowhere, 9 hours driving to the Eurotunnel again, tunnel over to Folkestone, 3 hours in a hotel, sleep, and then another kind of 6-7 hours up to Leeds. So it was a pretty intense drive. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. As soon as the album's done, that's exactly what we've been waiting for. We've spent loads of time working on this album. All the preparation that's gone into it was all leading up to us dropping the album and then getting out on the road and going crazy, touring, getting back out to all these places that we may not have been back to in a while. So yeah, no, we're tired, but we're excited.
So let's get the business part done.
Yeah.
So what do you have next? The tour is still going on for a few more days?
Yeah, so we've just got off the road with Shikari, just joined Crossfaith on their UK tour, which has been going absolutely great so far. Crossfaith fans are, mass amounts of energy, and then as soon as we're doing kind of 8 or 9 shows with Crossfaith, and then I think we got 2 days off possibly, and then we fly out to Japan to do our own headline tour of Japan. So we're spending kind of 7 or 8 days in Japan. So yeah, it's all systems go at the moment. In between the end of the Crossfaith tour and flying out to Japan, we'll have a meeting with the booking agent. He'll throw up a load more dates to us. So that's probably going to involve getting back from Japan, a couple of days off, see the family, and then straight back out on the road to either do a UK tour or perhaps around Europe or something. But that's something we'll get to as we have another meeting with the booking agent at the moment. But yeah, it's all systems go at the moment, so we're busy.
So hopefully you're going to have enough energy.
We've always got
the festival season.
We've always got energy. Again, when you enjoy whatever your trade may be, when you have a certain amount of affection for it, you find the energy because you enjoy doing it, you know. So it doesn't feel like the burden a job you may not enjoy doing weighs on you. So the energy's always there, and it's as simple as and it doesn't matter how tired you are, once you hit the stage and you see the crowd ready to enjoy themselves and have a good time. You could have not slept for 7 days. That energy, the adrenaline just comes rushing back, and you're good to go. We'll be good for festival season, no doubt.
Okay, so it kind of leads to my next question. Mm-hmm. What's music's role in your life?
Music's role in my life? Wow, music. I mean, I couldn't imagine life without music. I mean, it can play such an important role for people. There is an emotion and an energy attached to music that can serve you wherever you are emotionally, sad, happy, excited, angry. You can find music that speaks to you in those particular emotional ranges that you're going through. So I mean, I'm a hip hop junkie personally, and I'm quite a fan of learning something when I listen to hip-hop. So I listen to a lot of conscious hip-hop, what people would call conscious hip-hop, you know, whether it's revolving around social, economics, politics and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, music for me is an everyday inspiration. I can't live without it. I fall asleep with headphones on. We're jamming music in the van every single day. And the good thing in our group as well is kind of everyone's got a little bit of a different... I'm probably the most different because I listen to hip-hop and some of these other things. So everyone's kind of sharing music with each other on the journey, on the roads. We're all kind of taking a turn to plug our phones in and go, I listen to this. And
it's a mixture of fun and also being educated by it?
Fun, education. Yeah, I mean, if I had to try and categorise two things, emotional support.
Okay. And how about music's role in society? Because you guys go to the tiny bit of politics inside it. And also you toured with Shikari, and of course the CrossFit guys are a bit political.
Yeah, for me personally, I don't want to speak for everybody else in the band, but I kind of generally, we're kind of in the same page. But for me personally, I have a political background by family, so I've been raised in a particular way to be socially conscious, have my eyes open, critically analyse everything that I see before me, and never accept what I'm fed, certainly not by mainstream news. So I think it's not to say all music should be political or socially conscious, because it shouldn't at all. What we should have is a balance, a fair and even balance presented to us. So I definitely think there is room for your Enter Shikaris, your Crossfaiths. Again, going back to bands like Rage Against the Machine, and there is definitely a room for a voice that reflects what is going on in society. And it's not, things aren't always great, and sometimes things need to be addressed and things need to be discussed. It's not necessarily that our album's political, it's a reflection of society. We discuss a few things that we know are on the minds of a lot of people, and are on our minds. So on a couple of tracks you might have us discussing a particular element within society, and on another track it's a fun piece of music. But ultimately we want the album to be a stress relief and a source of enjoyment for people. People might be struggling with particular topics, particular areas in society. Gives them an opportunity to kind of let go and enjoy themselves. So ultimately, fun, smiles is what we want to bring.
And you've mentioned Rage Against the Machine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that the album's name is a wink to a song of Rage Against the Machine, Warrior Sound. I heard it's a line from Mic Check.
Ah, okay.
Is it news to you?
That could be news to me, That could be news to me. Because the title track, Warrior Sound, I'm not even sure I was in the studio when the guys originally started making the idea for that particular track. So yeah, that absolutely could have been where it came from. But yeah, the title track, Warrior Sound, was one of the early tracks that we had finished. So yeah, you could have informed me something I didn't know about my own band.
Okay, so let's pretend that that's accurate.
Yeah.
Because the music is not Rage Against the Machine-esque.
No.
But could you say that just the political aspect of it, is that the wink?
Again, as music should do, it inspires. So we all draw inspirations from some of these great bands that have come before us, Rage Against the Machine, The Prodigy. When someone asked me a really good question. They asked me to describe our band in 3 words. Not necessarily phonetically what we sound like, but the inspirations that you could possibly see in our music. And I said Rage Against the Machine, Prodigy, and Public Enemy. That was it. It kind of covered the rock element, the dance element, and the socially political nature of some of the songs on there for me. So, yeah.
I really enjoyed the first track of the album.
Okay.
Our World.
Our World.
They kind of ask some questions. Well, it starts, our world is not about this, our world is not about that. And I was just trying to think, so what is it about? And then the answer is truth. So what is that truth that the band is about?
I mean, the kind of idea in that is we're kind of wrapped up in this society where everything revolves around the monetary system, everything revolves around these commodities that we're all trying to step on each other to get, not personally, but at corporate levels, as everyone can see out there, and ultimately the idea is that education, independent, critical analysis of information put before you is the only way that we're going to get to a better place. If we're not all on the same page, it's going to be very difficult for us to move together as a population or as a planet. And when so many of us, we've got so many distractions put in front of us, so many of us are so busy working 9 to 5, we've got kids, we haven't got time to go on the internet or go to the library and spend hours on end critically analysing information. So too many of us kind of sit back and absorb what the newspaper says, they absorb what the TV says, and that shapes their perspective of the world. And unfortunately, as we know, corporate media has particular agendas to push. They're funded by particular people. So sometimes information gets skewed and you're not always presented with the real, truthful perspective. So ultimately, that's what we were saying. That's what we were saying, and that's our world isn't run like that. We treat everything and analyse everything very critically before making a judgment.
It's a very heavy start to 45 minutes of fun.
Yeah, but again, it depends which way you look at it from. It's that's interesting because I have this conversation with a friend of mine a while ago, and it was kind of like, you could look at someone like me who spends a lot of time reading. Sometimes I'm reading about things that could be perceived as negative because I'm learning about the mechanics of war, what triggered this war. And someone might look at that and might be like, well, you're spending all your time learning about war, and call that negative. But the reality is, facing an issue is positive. It's not negative. Facing a problem is ignoring a problem is negative. That you have an illness and you ignore it. There's nothing positive about that. You need to face the problems head on and deal with them. That is positive. That's good energy. That's good energy. And hopefully that sort of thing rubs off on people around you. Because we can talk, but at some point we're all going to have to pick up our boots and pull together to change. Otherwise, we're going to carry on this trajectory and we'll be gone in another however many 100 years.
This turned really optimistic.
Oh, you dragged me down. No. But ultimately, as I said at the beginning, ultimately it's about disconnection and enjoying yourself. But yeah, there's a sensible nature to the music as well, which I think is important, and I think we've got a good balance.
Well, I got the album and I started listening by the order of the tracks. And I was just expecting some loud vibes, and all of a sudden, whoa, I need to hear this again. It's just a 40-second track.
Yeah, of course.
I played it like 3 times trying to figure out what I think about it, what you're trying to say.
Yeah, but this is the kind of thing that I find interesting because you can listen to the album in one way, and it's a fun, it's a loud, dancey, it's a fun, engaging album. But again, as I really enjoy in hip-hop, sometimes I replay tracks 3 or 4 times because I'm like, oh, right, this is really interesting to listen to. I want to know what they were saying. I want to get inside their mind when they were saying it. What are they trying to put across? And that's interesting sometimes. And that's not something you would do with every track on the album. So there's a little bit of balance in there. It's not. There are tracks on there that are they're really nice riffs, really nice programming. It's just a great, fun, live track. And then some of the tracks are, as you said, a track that you might rewind 2 or 3 times and, have a listen and have a think.
Completely different topic.
Yes, okay, let's get happier. Let's get happier. No, it's always happy. It's always happy.
Okay, so the band is really well known for collaborations. I mean, you kind of start off with the band as part of the collaboration, and you joined them because until this album, the band did not have permanent vocalists.
No.
Correct, or
yeah, I've seen that come up in a few articles lately. No, so the Qemists were the three DJs originally, and I used to MC with them since 2003 for a while. We formed the band in 2009, and that was just after the band was formed just after they completed the original album, Join the Queue. So I joined at the beginning when the album was just after the album was created, and we played our first live show together in 2009. But there was another vocalist in the band at that time. So yeah, there were 5 people in the band from 2009, but obviously in recent developments over the last 18 months, that former vocalist had left and Ollie's joined. Ollie Simmons has joined, and now we've kind of really presented ourselves as a 5-piece band now that Ollie's come on board, because Ollie has brought a great energy to the band. He's a great guy, personality-wise. He has settled in really well and fast, and his songwriting, singing's absolutely fantastic. So we kind of feel like we've got into this clicked place now where we're really ready to push on as a group now. So yes and no.
So why were you a shadow member or a ghost member?
I think that's an outside perspective.
Well, I don't know. Wherever I looked, it was presented as a 3-piece.
Yes, yeah. As far as coverage and stuff goes, yeah, it took us a while to present our image in the proper way. We were just focusing on live and going out and performing. We weren't really worrying about how people categorised us at that time. It wasn't relevant to us. The music is all that matters to us. So creating music, getting out on the road and touring. For the people that came, for the fans that we've been fortunate enough to touch over the past kind of 4 or 5 years, it was always prevalent to them. They could see it on stage. But yeah, you're absolutely right. There was a certain area, whereas it took us a while to evolve into presenting ourselves as a 5-piece band. But yeah, so we're here now, and we're having fun.
Well, I think you were having fun even before that happened, but
yeah, no.
Now as a 5-part family.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. Internally, nothing's changed. We've always been a family like that. Nothing's changed internally. It's just the external perspective, the way it's presented through particular media outlets and stuff. So nothing's changed for us. The only thing that's changed is the way that we have been presented to the outside world. But yeah.
Okay, and the family really likes embracing some newcomers and collaborating with them. Whether it's Ken from Crossfade, or Hacktivist, and
yes,
and I'm probably forgetting many. Even Enter Shikari.
We've done Enter Shikari, Take It Back on the previous album, of course. We had on the debut album Wiley, another great urban act from London. And Mike Patton, of course, from Faith No More, which was huge for us on the first record for Lost Weekend.
So just to hang out, just to have fun and play some music, or is it more digital now? So I'm going to send you some riffs. You're going to send me some.
Oh no. With Mike Patton, that was done digitally. Obviously, the distance between us, but we'd gotten wind that Mike Patton was a fan of some of the tracks that he'd heard, and kind of approached him, sent an email, and he ended up responding, really liking the track that the boys sent to him, and the rest just happened, yeah. But as far as the rest of the guys go, everyone else comes to the studio. Ken from Crossfaith came to the studio, Hacktivist came to the studio, Wiley came to the studio, the Enter Shikari boys, Rory and Rao, came to the studio. We know those guys really well. We toured with them in our first tour, 2009. So yeah, it's everyone else has come to the studio, and it's been a hangout for the weekend, get creative and sit there and jam together, which I think is a great way to do it. Of course, a lot of stuff does happen digitally nowadays, but whenever the opportunity is there to actually get in a room together, I think it's an important thing to do. It kind of adds to the energy and the vibe.
Okay, and for the misfortunate listeners that cannot catch you live, I'm guessing that all those collaborations are happening live on stages?
As far as the new collaborations, absolutely, they will always be happening. You come to our live shows, you're gonna see the new collaborations. As far as the Warrior Sound albums goes, you might be fortunate and see Lost Weekend, Take It Back, and yeah, we kind of throw a lot of old classics in there as well. So yeah, I mean, you come to one of our shows, it's going to be an explosive show, and you're definitely going to get to see a lot of the music we really enjoy playing and making.
And can I try and steal a scoop? the song We're the Problem has some sort of an Enter Shikari vibe, and for some reason I thought that I heard Rao pitching some vocals on it, and then you play it live with them. So are they part of it?
No, unless you have stumbled onto another detail about the album that I'm unaware of. No. That is all Ollie Simmons. That is Ollie's vocal in there. It's one of my favourite tracks. It's got a great vocal on there, and then obviously I'm doing the verses on there. But no. But now that you mention that might be something we try and pressure Rao into doing next time we go out on the road with them now. I like the sounds of that.
Because if I'm mistaken, you were playing it live with them.
Yeah, no. We played on the tour. We played Take It Back with them. So people were disappointed we didn't do it earlier on in the tour, but we waited till the last show in Barcelona. And then got Rao to come out and do Take It Back with us, and I jumped on through their set and did a few verses on a few of their tracks, kind of a mishmash for the last night. But yeah, it was great fun. But I will be presenting that idea to Rao next time. Ollie and Rao back to back doing the choruses each, harmonising. Yeah,
I think their vocals, especially talking about that track, they're very close.
Yeah, there could be a similarity in that kind of harsh, rocky sort of vocal. Yeah, the screaming vocal as well. Yeah.
Okay, so I missed the scoop right here, but maybe something for the future.
Maybe something for the future. I'm not too sure. I've got another scoop for you. But yeah, no.
I got plenty of questions, but I'm going to set you free in a second.
You're good. You're good.
I know that a lot of bands that when they're touring together, they kind of pick up some stuff, some live stuff from one another. So coming off the leg with Enter Shikari, you're going to bring some lasers and confetti guns?
Yeah, we didn't see any laser and confetti guns on that stretch of the tour, but yeah, as you said there, I think a lot of bands, when you tour together, you end up experiencing how other people do things, and you end up sometimes borrowing particular aspects of their show, or learning from someone who's possibly done more shows than you, had a greater span of career than you. So it's always a source of learning when you get to tour with some of these great bands. I mean, Shikari are notorious for having built their name themselves. Radio weren't paying attention to them. They went out and did 250 shows a year for 8 years, until they started filling up theatres all up and down the country, and then eventually people had to pay attention to them because they built up such a huge core fan base, and that was just through sheer hard work and determination, which is a great lesson for any band coming up to learn. You've kind of got to just be out there playing because you love doing it and you believe in yourself. You just got to work hard. Sometimes things don't happen overnight, but if you love and enjoy what you do, then that doesn't mean you should hang your head. You should keep your head up high and keep working at it. Coming back to Shikari again, we actually learnt a lot from them in 2009, because as I said, we went out on our first couple of shows in February 2009. We debuted a club called Audio in Brighton, then played Cargo in London, and then I think we went to Japan, did 2 shows out there, and then went on the road with Shikari for a week. So we were like 5 shows in when we went out with Shikari. They're already Shikari. So we were really green under the gills on that tour, and I just remember talking with all those guys in between shows and stuff, and they were just giving little pointers and, about stage presence and just the energy that you give out on stage, because as everyone knows, those guys are pretty crazy on stage. So yeah, we learnt a lot from those guys, and I think, yeah, as you said, every band you go on, you pick something up from them. You pick some sort of lessons up from them. Absolutely.
And I know that a lot of the tracks of the band got used in either video games or films.
Yeah,
And going back to the first intro, Our World, kind of sounds like a film trailer. So if Warrior Sound is going to be converted into a film, what's going to be the plot, and who's going to play you? Are you going to be in it?
Wow.
It sounds like a post-apocalyptic film.
Wow.
What's going to be in it?
Warrior Sound, The Mechanical Heart. I ultimately think it wouldn't be an apocalyptic film. I think it would be a positive film about change. The initiation of change. I think it would be one of those one of those films where it kind of feels like everything's going to go chaotic and there's not any hope, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, unity comes and everyone lives happily ever after, hopefully.
So no zombies, no shooting.
Oh, wow.
Just, maybe a vampire falling in love?
No Twilight over here. No Twilight over here. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting question. It's an interesting question. It's the sort of thing I'm probably going to go away and think about for a while now. I'll probably end up sending you an email.
Yeah, I'm going to catch up with you on the next tour.
I thought of a plot. A really good one. Yeah, I've got a script. It's done. You're playing you. I'm playing me. It's.
Well, as I said, I got plenty more questions, but I'm going to set you free. So is there anything else you want to add to fans, listeners?
Yeah, I mean, to anyone out there that hasn't had an opportunity to come and see us live yet, we would love to see you at a show. Yeah, thanks to everyone that's been out there and bought the album. We've been getting great support from the fans, from interviewers, radios. Yeah, may it continue.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And probably going to catch you... You gotta let that sneeze out.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't want to be here sniffling sniffling away on the radio. It's not. My mother had clipped me round the ear, so I do apologise to everyone. It's. I think we're kind of 14 days in touring. Everyone's a little bit coldy.
You gotta stay well. You're going to Japan and then coming back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're waiting for more, and then festivals.
Yes, yeah.
I think you're going to be in Birmingham the end of May, right? Slam Dunk.
Oh, we're going to. Yes, confirmed. Slam Dunk. We are definitely back for, which is 3 dates. Yeah. So Slam Dunk, yeah, absolutely. If anyone is in the local area for Slam Dunk, please do come and check us out. It's going to be a great event, and we're actually on the Uproar stage with Shikari Sound System headlining that stage across the 3 days. So yeah, that's going to be great. If Raoul's there, we may or may not get him to come out and play a track. Yeah. We are the problem. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. If you're a Shikari fan as well, come out, because you might get to see something that you won't see every day.
Of course, we're waiting for a script.
And I could present the script to you in Birmingham Slam Dunk. We could have a script good to go.
Although Wolverhampton is more of a post-apocalyptic kind of scenery.
It's kind of got the set. It's kind of got the set in here. I was trying to think. This pub in here has kind of got that Shaun of the Dead pub vibe.
I think that's Wolverhampton in general. Okay, Bruno, thank you very much.
It's my absolute pleasure.
I really enjoyed the album, and I'm finally going to catch you live in a bit.
Incredible.
So hopefully my neck's going to be a bit slinted afterwards.
Make sure you do your stretching before. We don't want to send you home with a crooked neck. Okay. But yeah, Sarah, thanks very much for having us. It's been great talking to you. Thanks for the interesting questions as well.